before we start. Welcome to East Hartford High School, East Hartford Public Schools Convocation. My name is Kayla Robles, and I'm about to start my senior year here at East Hartford High School. Thank you. Throughout the last 5 years of attending East Hartford Public Schools, I've loved making relationships with the teachers and staff. Many teachers have made a lasting impact on me. For example, Mrs. Messier. Even before my time at East Hartford High School officially started, I had already built a lasting relationship with her. We met during my time here at the Summer Leadership Alliance program offered here at the school. Despite me never having the privilege of having her as a teacher, she was always somebody that I knew I could talk to. Whether it was serious talks about something that was bothering me or lighthearted talks about what was new in my life, she has always made me feel comfortable around her. Another teacher that I value my relationship with is Mr. Martinez. He's an amazing Spanish teacher that makes the classes go by faster by making jokes with all of his students. He encourages us to step out of our comfort zone by learning a new language because he knows it will benefit us in the future. I've made some of my favorite memories in this class, and I've made many memories that I know I will look back on after I graduate. Next, I want to mention Mrs. Griffin. Before the last year, I never really cared about English class, but she changed my mind about that. The assignments she would have us do were not just educational, but also fun and creative. I loved having class discussions about the books we were reading while she allowed us all to express our opinions until there was nothing left to say. She wanted us all to succeed and encouraged us to try our hardest on everything we did. As we go into a new school year, I hope you all remember the impact you have on your students, not just in the classroom, but in their everyday lives. This is just my personal experience with teachers, but I know many other students that have other teachers that they go to for guidance and advice very often. While I don't have the time to acknowledge everyone at this moment, that doesn't diminish the impact you've all had on me and many other students. Every year, all students in East Hartford have the privilege of getting taught by amazing teachers that genuinely care about them. Whether you realize it or not, this makes a difference to your students emotionally, academically, or even personally. In addition to all of the amazing teachers at East Hartford High School, we are lucky to have a principal who's been leading our school for more than 20 years. Mr. Ryan is the kind of principal that you can joke with students, but if you see him sternly walking around the building, you know not to mess with him. Students respect him, but also feel comfortable talking to him if they need to. He has found a way to be someone students can laugh with, while still being someone we know will hold us accountable, which, in my opinion, is the best kind of principal. It's now my pleasure to welcome Mr. Ryan to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you, Kayla. Good morning, everybody. It's great to hear that you have strong relationships at East Hartford, Kayla. You must know that Kayla is going to be the morning voice at East Hartford High School this year, as well as this was just a warm-up. She's going to be the MC for graduation in June. So thank you very much, Kayla. You're doing a great job. It's my pleasure to host Convocation here at East Hartford High School. Whether you are joining us here in the auditorium or watching our live stream, which is hopefully working. Welcome back to a new school year. I hope your summer was filled with restful moments, balanced with adventures and celebrations. As we begin this year together, let's remember the incredible impact that we have on our students, as Kayla already alluded to. Daily, we have the chance to shape, empower, and guide the leaders of tomorrow. So be real, be consistent, be a listener. Let's make this year one of growth, collaboration, and meaningful connections for our students and ourselves. We have a few speakers lined up for you today. Welcoming us back to school first is the East Hartford Board of Education Chairman, Mr. Tyron Harris.
So good morning. So welcome back to our amazing educators, administrators, paraprofessionals, custodians, student staff, support, and our school teachers. I hope you had a time this summer to rest, recharge, and enjoy meaningful moments with your family and friends over the summer. As we prepare to welcome our students back, I want to begin with a very heartfelt thank you. Thank you for showing up each day with dedication and purpose. Thank you for your patience, your compassion, and unwavering commitment to our students. Thank you for creating a welcoming space where every student can learn, grow, and feel supported. Thank you for partnering with our families and strengthening our community. And thank you for believing in our students and recognizing their potential even when they may not see it in themselves. East Hartford is blessed with educators who care deeply about our children and inspire them and to reach higher, dream bigger, and believe in themselves. So on behalf of my fellow school board members, thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you, we support you, and we are grateful to stand with you through the next school year. Thank you. And now I would like to bring up to the podium the 2027 East Hartford Public Schools Teacher of the Year, Social Studies teacher at Sunset Ridge Middle School, Mr. Griffin Michaelek.
Good morning, everyone. Standing here today feels a little surreal. East Hartford is not just where I work, it's truly the community that raised me. I have the biggest thanks to my parents, Lori and Doug, they're here today. For making the choice to raise me in this community. My mom was raised here, my uncles were raised here, my friends and family, they're all from here. I grew up in this district, sat in these classrooms, walked these hallways, threw a couple footballs out back, and I probably ate about 500 cheeseburgers at all game raised down the street. Now I've got the privilege of coming back every single day to work in the same community that truly raised me. No one earns an honor like this alone, and this recognition belongs to so many people that have supported me, challenged me, and made me a better educator and a better person. There's so many at Sunset Ridge that I share this recognition. I'm grateful for you guys every single day. So thank you, Mr. Catlin, Mrs. Turner, Mr. Quigg, Ms. White, Heidi, Dr. Malfa, Herb, McBride, Ms. Chamberlain, Barb, Buck, Jason Bedard, Pipke, Bouchard, Torres, Romero, DeGiacomo, Quartermont, Sarfraz, Suver, Carpio, Beckwith, Cooper, and John Cooper. Anderson, Knapp, Boyd, Wysocki, Harmon, Fix, Josh, Barry, Colwick, Lou, Vasquez, Miss G, Tro, Sal, Dean, Wen Chang, Sousa, Whitbread, Skirka, Okeson, Dalton, Henry, Kim, Becca, also Sean Hurley, Dan Crovo, Tisco, Sheehan, Bertos, Pentor, Gascon, and Moss. I've worked for Parks and Rec here in town. I've coached, connected with campers and kids through summer camp, Special Olympics, and youth basketball. And that's what makes this recognition so meaningful to me, is it truly comes from the community that shaped me. When people ask what's the most important part about education, I always come back to relationships. And as I reflect now, I don't remember specifics from individual classes when I was a student here, but I remember the connections I had with role models, like Mr. Ryan, and Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Swed, Mr. Sparks, and Mr. Arami. The life lessons that they taught me have stayed with me, and they impact how I try to build connections with my students. Curriculum matters, standards matter, academics matter, but the kids remember how you made them feel. They remember who showed up for them, and they remember who listened. Some of my favorite moments as a teacher didn't happen during a lesson at all, but they happened during lunch conversations, hallway jokes, or talking football with students before class starts. Because I've learned if you really want middle schoolers to engage, sometimes you gotta start with topics like football. In my case, that usually means being told that the Buffalo Bills stink and that they will never win a Super Bowl. But they're wrong, this is definitely our year. See, these moments may seem small, but they matter. Relationships, they build trust, and trust builds learning. Half the time I'm teaching social studies, and the other half the time I'm wondering if the class is roasting me or complimenting me. There's oftentimes a quote I come to from Marvin Gaye in his song, What's Going On? The title itself asks an important question, what's going on? And I think good educators ask that question every day. What's going on with our students? What's going on in our community? What's going on in the world? And most importantly, what can we do to help? Because education is not just about creating intelligent students, it's about creating good people. Martin Luther King Jr. said, intelligence plus character That's the goal of true education. And that line has always stayed with me because it captures what so many educators in this district do every single day. We're not only teaching skills and content, we're helping shape empathy, resilience, humanity, and integrity. And of course, there's the students. Don't worry, I'm not going to name them all. But every day they challenge me, they make me laugh, they keep me humble, and they remind me why I wanted to become an educator in the first place. So as we begin the school year, I encourage everyone to have fun and enjoy the work we do every day to make this district an amazing place. I hope you're able to laugh with your colleagues, have fun with your students, be proud of the work you do, and take time to appreciate the opportunities that we have in this community to make this school year enjoyable for everybody. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of our student speakers, Emmanuel Osai Dodi.
Good morning to all educators and faculty members present for this special occasion. My name is Emmanuel Osai Dodi. I'm an upcoming freshman at East Hartford High School, and I've been a student at East Hartford for 5 years. I would like to take a moment to thank my parents for the support they have given me. They have made me who I am today, and without them, I am nothing. I am honored to stand before those who shape the lives of students like myself each day. I sincerely thank you for the impact you have made on so many students, including me. Your dedication is deeply appreciated, and words cannot fully express our gratitude. One aspect I admire about the teaching staff in our community is the ongoing commitment to building meaningful relationships with students. This applies to everyone present here today. I have personally experienced this throughout my school life. You consistently foster a welcoming and supportive environment. As a student, I recognize that educators, like all individuals, are not flawless. Even when things don't go perfectly, your presence makes a difference in ways you may never see. The relationships you foster between students make school more lively and energizing. Personally, I remember a moment in middle school where my 8th grade math teacher would postpone a test when we felt like we weren't ready. And I was very happy she did that because it showed me that I needed more time to be ready for any unseen variable that might happen in life. And it was a gesture that stuck with me, and I will forever remember this moment. As students, we appreciate having meaningful interactions in classroom. We believe that it would help if teachers showed more of their personalities and were open about their imperfections. This can encourage students to be themselves and make it easier for teachers to notice when someone is struggling, especially since students often bring outside stress into school. If we learn this lesson from our teachers, we can also learn to support each other and recognize when our classmates need help. Over the years, I've come to realize how hard working in a school environment is. Not only do you need patience, but you also need to put your heart into it. And that is not something anybody can do. So to every teacher who shows up day after day, give it more than anyone asks for. Thank you. We see you, and we appreciate you, and we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you all. Now, please welcome the East Hartford High School Honor Band.
Good morning. It's like there's always something. So first, let's give another round of applause for the band and for our team. For those of you that are here, for those that aren't here, I don't apologize for making you go back around and walk through the red carpet because they did get up really early this morning and wanted to give them an opportunity to definitely show a little appreciation to you coming in this morning. So it's great to see many of you here and those of you together throughout the district as we begin another school year at East Hartford Public Schools. And also another round of applause for our speakers. They did an excellent job. And Mr. Ronnie, do me a favor. Can you bring me that clicker that's right down there on the floor? Thank you. Because there are two of them. So before I jump into things for the next few minutes, I want us to hold on to some thoughts, some things we just heard. So Kayla reminded us to remember the impact you have on your students, not just in the classroom, but in their everyday lives. Our Teacher of the Year, Mr. Michael Lake, reiterated that relationships build trust, and trust builds learning. And Emmanuel, a 9th grader, captured it most simply when he said, even when things don't go perfectly, your presence makes a difference in ways you may never see. That is the work. And as we begin this year, I want us to remember that the data I will briefly touch on is ultimately a reflection of that work. Behind every percentage point is a student, behind every student is a relationship, and behind those relationships are outstanding staff members such as yourselves. As we welcome our new members to our team this year, as we continue to talk about clarity, measurement, and accountability, we're not reducing our work to numbers, we're making sure that the work we do, and the relationships we build are producing the opportunities and outcomes our students deserve to create their own social capital. So, as you recognize our new staff, thank you to those of you who have returned with us. And I've heard from many ranges of the number of years, from some of you returning in your second year, to several that I chatted with that are in year 29 and 30. So you've selected a district that is doing impactful work, and we're excited that you've chosen to do that work with us. So as we look at our new people, we also see some of our other newer individuals, or individuals who may be in different roles this year. So I also love seeing the school spirit across the room. Our schools are representing who they are and the pride they have in their individual communities. Central office, we took a slightly different approach by representing our colleges and universities. I had to have the pullover on because it do get a little bit cold, but I get up here and you still get a little bit nervous. And so I had my URI shirt on under here. So I had to have the Rhodes College because that's where all of our money goes right now. And so we have one more year. But as we look at our colleges and universities, it's a small way to recognize something that connects all of us. The importance of education and the opportunities it creates and has positioned us to be where we are today. So regardless of the shirt, school, college represented today, we're all here for the same reasons, our students. Before we get into our work for the year, I want to recognize that we have a lot to celebrate. And more importantly, we have evidence, our receipts, that the work is making a difference. So quickly, we just look at this slide and we see our chronic absenteeism, which is its lowest since 2022. That is the effort, the connection, the relationships that you've heard about to get students wanting to be in school each day. We know we still have some growth to make, but we need to recognize the growth that we are making, the hard work that's been put in over the years, and that continued through last year and will continue now. So we know before we can teach students, they have to be in school, connected to school, and feel that there is a reason to be there every day. It's an excellent job in making those connections. So academically, we're also seeing progress in grades 3 through 8. ELA proficiency increased 3 percentage points this year, 10 points. Also, we can see in math, all of these are their highest since 2022 and some before that. And we also can see the NGSS results for science increasing there as well. So let's take an opportunity and really give a round of applause for that level of real. We also have, which I didn't put up there because I don't want to give you everything right away, but we had 132 students earn the seal of biliteracy, 12 more students in the previous year. Do you think that that represents 132 students leaving East Hartford Public Schools with another credential they will carry into college, careers, and into life? And of course, we recently received another tremendous recognition for SEBA, reinforcing that what we already know about the quality of the students, staff, and the opportunities that exist across our district. So these numbers and recognitions matter, but the numbers are not just work. So SEBA is the #1 ranked high school in the state of Connecticut for the 3rd year in a row. And we also want to reiterate, when we celebrate, it's not as though we're not recognizing the hard work that continues for everyone else. I want us, as we go into this year and into the future, there is nothing wrong with us taking an opportunity to celebrate the work that we do. For whatever reason, as educators, we never want to put that out there, and it seems as though there's still something to do. There's always something to do. But we definitely need to make sure we're reinforcing that and celebrating those points, because it is hard work every day, all day, as you already know. So the classrooms where the work is taking place, the related service providers, the student support assistants, the paraeducators, the paraprofessionals, the tutors supporting students, our administrators and support staff, our building service, custodial teams, food service staff, transportation staff, our secretaries, administrative assistants, nurses, counselors, social workers, security staff, central office teams, our volunteers, and everyone who contributes to the experience of our students every day. So these results just don't happen. They represent thousands of individual interactions, decisions, interventions, lessons, phone calls and conversations with families and colleagues, many adjustments and moments when someone decided to do a little bit more for someone else. So thank you for the work, thank you for staying focused, and most importantly, thank you for continuing to believe in our students and what is possible for East Hartford. So to do a little sharing each year so I can still prove to people that we have that humanistic quality about us. So I've shared before about my own family. We think about the you think about the drivers that you have and what makes you get up every day, really push forward and keep making things happen on that. That was a surprise. So also I looked at this one, is the last one. So we have when I got here, Layla was going to her freshman year. Now she's going to her senior year. We just think about how time flies. I hear about the stories of your individual families and we have a chance to chat. Everyone has something. We all have our own drivers. We look at really what motivates us and keeps us pushing forward to really see what is it about. How are we doing those things for others, but are we taking care of those who should mean the most to us? And it's hard work, but we know that, and we try to really have that life balance. I always have to put the things on there because it's not a target run, it's a target investment every summer when you go. And now they're living in a house that we have with her 3 teammates and housemates, so that's an interesting thing because their power went out on Saturday, it just came back on last night. So the Memphis infrastructure is not the greatest, but you do what you can. The road trip, because I guess, she is the only girl, I say I treat them all equal, but equity, what is that exactly? So I drove the car down, those on my team kind of know, and my friend over there on the right side, called Espresso, helped a lot because I actually made the drive all the way through. I thought I was going to stop, but anyway. It should have been a college tour because you're driving through Tennessee and Virginia. I didn't realize all the different colleges, University of Roanoke and James Madison and Virginia Tech and just all the schools that you see going through there. But it really touches, when we think about just how the other parts of the country are, there's some other pictures I choose not to show in terms of the mindset and the temperament that some individuals have. But it's a really good experience to be able to do it. I don't recommend the 18-hour drive all the time, but it gives you a chance to do some of your own thinking. We did take a lot of flights, because when I dropped the car off, I did fly home, so we didn't drive back. A little bit about the Memphis heat, those of you that kind of know me, I like being warm, but that was oppressive, and it was actually a little bit higher than that being there that time. I'm always going to show those pieces, but I wanted to show this one especially because this is where we are right now. I know that October is when it really counts, and this is the only way I get to get back because I have the microphone right now. And I know they're on a little bit of a windshield. So, lesson. I saw this picture. So this is my daughter. We needed to get another refrigerator because they're in a house now. I was like, oh, mini refrigerator. Mini. And so I looked at, this is what's in my mind as I'm thinking the whole time. Mini refrigerator, yeah, that's going to be good. I didn't pay attention to those numbers right there. See where it says 9 inches and 11? So I thought I'd do the good dad thing. I'd go ahead and buy it, and then she gets it, and she sends me a message and says, I got the fridge, LOL. Yeah, that's her bed, and it fits right under. So, the lesson is sometimes you gotta slow down. It's not always what you think it is. Pay attention to see what it really is. But I thought that was kind of, you have to laugh at yourself sometimes, and luckily there's a full-size refrigerator in the house, and she wasn't depending on that, but it does fit right under the bed. As we get into the summer, and really looking to see how we sustain things, and the work that we're doing, our challenges this year is not simply to do more, it's about how we become clearer and more intentional. So as we look at the work and thanking our facilities teams and everyone else, Jim Bevezzi and his entire crew, taking care of a lot of the things that you all will be seeing, and some of you in the buildings now are seeing this work. Some things on the outside, which is not always, putting a sidewalk in or redoing the parking lot at Langford. Those aren't the most exciting things, but it adds to the campus look. It adds to an investment of who we are in terms of making sure that when students and families visit, they're seeing the entire picture. A lot of our summer programs, again, for ESY this summer, do an excellent job. or summer enrichment. Many of you worked in the programs this summer. Student leadership here at the high school and at SEVA. Welcome back. Rally, which was at McCullough Park this year. Just really thanking Michelle Texeter and her entire team of liaisons and specialists. I apologize for not saying every name, I don't want to leave them out, but I know that a tremendous amount of individuals went into supporting and making sure all of the supplies and organizations who were connected with us donated a lot of the information. So our challenge this year is not to simply do more, but it's really about being clear. I call this 3.0 because the first year is all about learning what to build on and continuing to go forward. We know this is year 4. We know that the foundation is strong and the things that were already in place, we're continuing to build on those areas. Our core beliefs, that's where our goals end up coming from. We're going to continue with those pieces. Our 5 goals, when we think about what brings us back to the 3 words of accountability, clarity, measurement, and accountability. So clarity is about what we're trying to accomplish and why it matters. Measurement, so that we know whether what we're doing actually makes a difference. And accountability, it's not about being punitive, but as our collective responsibility to follow through on what we say matters and has the most impact. The data I shared is a perfect example of why those 3 things matter. We identified areas that needed improvement, we became clearer about the work, we measured our progress, and we remained accountable for moving the numbers. So when we think about, are we ultimately where we want to be? I mean, I think we would all agree, no, not yet. But we are moving, and we are absolutely going in the right direction. So at that distinction, it is very important to understand. So we've talked a lot about separating the signal from the noise. There will always be more things we could do than we have time or capacity to actually do well. So as we continue to see where we're going for this current year and into the future, we have our 4 areas that encompass everything that we do as an organization, as a team. We always look, these diagrams sometimes they may be simple, but it's, well, why are we doing it? And getting to that why, the how, and what. And the other line over there where it says, I believe. And that's really what it is. What is our expectations? What is it that we believe in? And do we understand why we're doing it? For what reason? The coherence framework, the opportunity, we'll talk about a little bit of AI later, but we think of this diagram and putting something together as a visual, but it is about that coherence. What is the impact we're making in each of our roles? As we transition back today, what exactly is it that we came to do? What is the experience we want our students to have? What is it that we want our colleagues to have when we supervise or just working together with us? So we look at simplify and clarify. Sometimes we make things too complicated and there's no need to do that. So the goal is not complexity, it is coherence. It's making sure that whether you work in a classroom, a school office, transportation facilities, food services, student support, or central office, we understand our individual work connects to our collective responsibility for students. Everything we do, we need to understand what is the impact on the classroom? What is the impact on teaching and learning? If we cannot determine that, we may need to rethink and reset what exactly we're doing. This here, because we have that circle of concern. There's only so much that we can control. We really need to take a step back sometimes. Pay attention to what it is that we can control. The level of anxiety, the stress that already exists, and which is added to us by outside forces, we need to really think about how we can navigate and manage that. But the only way we can do it as an individual is, what are those things that we individually control? How do we work to make sure that we are getting the most out of ourselves? How are we recognizing when we need to take that step back and recenter and refocus about what it is that we're doing? Again, the instructional core, that is the work. We don't need to have a million initiatives. We can pilot something, but in my mind, we pilot it because we're going to make it work. But if we're doing 10 things and we cannot identify that all 10 are having an impact, not because someone thinks they're important, but we cannot determine that all 10 have an impact, then why are we doing the ones that we can't determine have an impact? Again, our balanced focus, how are we preparing students? I recycled some of these. Some of you, you're going to see these every year because why are we thinking for different things if the others are not? If it works, then it's repetition. Griffin mentioned about football. Yep, so we played some games back there too. And my thing is, I'm offensive minded. I will run the same play over and over and over if it works until you stop it. It may not be really exciting, but it works. Again, how do we channel our energy? How do we make sure we continue to do what's working and support one another in that effort? So think about our key messages. What is truly leadership? It's not just sitting with this person who has a superintendent title. That's just a title. How are we working together and how do we lead collectively? This is something that we need to understand in our offices, our buildings, and as a complete district. When we think about the importance of culture in organizations and these companies that we hear about across the country or across the world at this point. But it is the single greatest factor determining an organization's success. We are in the world of education. However, how we feel about one another will make a difference. So our anchors for progress, and we're not going to read all these things to you this morning, we'll share the other pieces, but number one is protect the signal, in terms of separating what matters the most from the noise. Some people like sharing information, I'll put it that way, and that's great. That's their personality, don't change who you are. But just recognize, what does that have to do with the broader picture? How is that enhancing either the work or the relationship? Being busy doesn't mean we're being effective. Because someone may run around like they're on fire doesn't mean they're taking care of business. And we don't have to feel like we need to be busy to be effective. So it kind of works both ways. Some of you do an amazing job. And when things, sometimes we have to just let things take shape. And I'm guilty of that as well. I feel like if things are in place, I'm like, all right, I feel like there's I need to be doing something. And my wife tells me I have, the adult ADHD, and I don't know if that's true or not, but we feel like we have to be doing something all the time. What's the impact of that? What exactly are we doing? Again, our commitments, we need to be able to commit to these type of things together. Keeping the main thing the main thing. What is it that we're doing? Our coherence throughout the district, we've been talking about that. Measure progress, act on what we learn. What is driving our decisions? We can't just say, well, use the data, use the data. I'm like, no, that's an easy way to say it. Describe what it is. Don't say, well, the data says, no, I don't care if you're telling me the data. Like, what is it? Do we truly understand what that is? So we're using less acronyms and making it less complicated and simplifying. Strengthening our schools and the greater opportunities for our students. I think we do a tremendous job with that. As you can hear through the information we shared about the data and the numbers. And then from what our speakers shared. The organizational piece, the learning cycle, we're always evolving as an organization. I feel like each year we're going to continue to evolve, work about getting better to provide more opportunities to make sure we're being more efficient. The last pieces are, what are the trends and patterns? When we do our learning walks, when we visit classrooms, when you're doing visits in your own classrooms and we're looking at student work, what are the trends and patterns we're looking for? That's what the difference that we're trying to see to determine what is it that we need to continue either changing or keeping the same. Coherence through clarity, we talked about that, getting back to the basics of the teaching and learning. Again, we make a lot of things complicated, and we really don't need to. We need to make it where we can explain it to that 5-year-old and they understand what their charge is to take ownership of their own education, all the way through to that 17, 18, 19-year-old. the leadership capacity, our healthy culture, and we hear a lot about artificial intelligence. I know we're in the midst of it. You know, I'm going to just it's a real generalization if we say the world is in the middle of it, because I believe that everyone is. We know that it is here. We're still working through what is it going to look like when we start with public schools. We know we piloted some things. We know most staff have access to the different platforms that exist. We're going to continue to refine it, have those conversations to really see how is it going to benefit the classroom. What is it that we need? What should we be doing? And so right now we have our position statement. We'll be working through the year to have a concrete policy in place that I'll present to the board at some point before the end of the year. What we want to do is make sure, have we captured everything? Do we know all of the different pieces that should be included? And what is that going to look like? Again, our path for success, we've got kind of different iterations, whether it's online or those type of things, but it's really, what is that pre-K student all the way through 12th grade and adult education and beyond? What do we want our students to know and be able to do at this time? After I left here as my first year of teaching and I went to Maryland, these are these questions that we had all those years ago, and they still mean the same thing. All the way through, what is it that we want students to be able to demonstrate? You know, those who already know it. Are we pushing them up? We're pulling those who need the support, but are we pushing and accelerating the others? And then adding on here as a staff, what is it that we want from one another? What do we want our colleagues to know? What do we want those that we supervise, those that are teaching, those that are supporting? Everything goes on here. So when we think about expectations, what does that mean for us as an organization? Whether you're in the classroom or supporting the classroom. And I've said that anyone who's not in the classroom is support staff. So remember that. In my mind, the classroom is the most important entity that we have. Every individual that's not in a classroom supports the teaching and learning process of the classroom. So we look at the parallel focus. I showed these roads before. So again, these are the people we are. Some things are open, a little bit bumpy, smooth, you can't see. So it's just the reality of where we are, the type of work that we do. As we go through our strategic plan, we've covered the goals. We're not changing our goals each year. You see what we have with one, high quality instruction, student supports and systems, family and community partnerships, organizational team, and we look at what we're doing with retaining and training our individuals and enhancing the community confidence and pride. It doesn't happen by itself. It's because of you that we have made the progress that we have made. So think about the impact that everything that I've shared, the relationships, the strategic plan, the effectiveness, all of those areas, keeping the classroom at the center, at its core, these are the different opportunities that our students have been able to take advantage of, earning over $11 million in scholarships the last class of 2026, which is a tremendous amount of money if you really think of it. When you compare to other places, they did, I mean, yeah. And I saw that number, and I think about being a principal, that far exceeded what we had. And so I think the team did an outstanding job making sure those students have created some opportunities for themselves. Again, schools of distinction with SEBA and Mayberry, again, this year. The recognition and district on the rise for growth in math and reading. And again, this was through Harvard and Stanford. It was a research that they did. They dug deeply into understanding how East Hartford works, understanding what happens in our classrooms. When people reach out, sometimes they're not quite sure, well, what's the impact of that, or what's the leverage that you're seeking. But when they looked to compare districts across the country and seeing the work that you all are doing, it's a tremendous accolade for us to be able to have that. And then the work with Tracy Stefano and the whole school Whole Community Whole Child Award. That's another thing in terms of as we deal with relationships, the meetings that we have jointly with the town offices, the work that's still being done with the University of Connecticut. These are all those things that we try to share and explain more, but sometimes there's a lot of that, so we're trying to figure out ways to better inform everyone about all the different things that are taking place. We had the STEM lab for 5th graders last year. Some of our, who are the most important aspects of what we do. And the quest for international scholars match, that was the 3rd year in a row. We had a student, I believe that the first 2, they both went to California. She stayed closer to home. I believe she's at Holy Cross in Worcester, so a little closer than being in California. And to some other recognitions that as a complete team, this is the work, these are the opportunities that have been occurring throughout the district. You heard from our band today. They did a great job last year performing for all of the state superintendents at the Science Center in Hartford. And we can't go 2 years in a row, but we'll try to get them over there again. And it's good because they reached out to request them, which is always great for the talent to be recognized. So as we close, think about creating a positive and wholesome learning environment, foster positive relationships, focus on the instructional program, and enjoy being a member of our school community. I mean, that's it. We talk about the expectations. And where are we in those areas? So we have momentum and we have evidence of progress. And most importantly, we have the people across our district to continue moving the work forward. So today, we celebrate the progress as we resume the most important work impacting the future. So, welcome back to East Hartford Public Schools. Thank you for choosing to be a part of this team. Thank you for everything you will do for our students and families this year. Thank you very much. Here's to a great year and enjoy the rest of your day.